Welcome to Highfalutin Low Carb, the almost weekly web series where we find and test the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer. Today, we're tackling one of my favorites, tacos. Stay tuned. Now, before we begin, I just want to do a little bit of housekeeping. A couple of weeks ago, we had an air fryer giveaway. We revisited one of our older videos about making French fries in the oven, and I went back and tried them in an air fryer, and they turned out great. And we gave away one of those. And I've had a lot of people comment and ask me, who won? Did you win? Did you have the drawing? And we did. I followed the rules that I'd outlined in the original video. And a week from the day that went live, we drew randomly. And my subscriber, Better Work It Out, was his name. He won the drawing. I put that out via Facebook, Twitter, on the community section here on YouTube, and he responded with less than 24 hours, and that air fryer is already on the way to him, and I hope he just fries up a whole lot of low carb stuff and enjoys it because it's really fun. So just to let you all know, if you're not Better Work It Out, you didn't win. But we're going to do this again, and if you don't follow me on Facebook, do so down below. Sometimes YouTube is fickle right now, and a lot of people are not getting notifications. But if you follow me on Facebook, you'll find out when I release videos, and I communicate a lot more freely that way on Facebook. So follow me there, follow me on Twitter, wherever you want to follow me. But yes, we did make that announcement. Better work it out. Hope you're enjoying that air fryer. All right, so let's get started. Tacos, 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 tacos. How do I emphasize how much tacos mean to me? You often hear famous chefs or celebrity chefs talk about the perfect dish and what constitutes the perfect dish. And to me, and to millions of other people, the taco is the perfect dish. It constitutes everything that we love about a perfect dish, and that is contrast in texture and contrast in temperature. You've got the crunchy shell, if you use a crunchy shell, the creamy avocado, the warm taco filling, the cool lettuce, and the crispness of the tomato. There's just so many contrasts of flavor and texture that tacos to me are one of the perfect food. Now, today we're going to try my two favorite recipes, one for soft shell tacos and one for hard shell tacos, and then I've got one that sort of floats in the middle, and that's what we're going to start with now. The other two I've done regularly and used them, and they are a staple in my diet. There are actually very few recipes online for soft shell tortillas low carb and hard shell crunchy taco shells low carb. There just aren't that many options, and most recipes are all variants of one another that have been done for decades at least in the low carb world. So we're going to do those, a soft shell and a hard shell, but this first one is the wild card, and I'm going to start with the wild card, which I never do. And this comes to us from one of my subscribers and viewers, and she doesn't have a blog or a vlog or a Facebook page or any of that. She just wrote me several months ago and said, I am so excited about my taco shells. I've tried the cauliflower shells and they're good, but they fall apart. And I've tried the cheese ones and they're good, but they seem like too much cheese. So I mix the cauliflower and the cheese recipes together and they are amazing. They do not fall apart. Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, heart, heart, heart. So this obviously got my attention. And I told her, I was like, I'm going to do a taco battle soon and I'd like to feature this. I'm going to try this. Months have gone by. And I put up a little teaser announcement last night. The taco battle's coming, knowing that I'd be filming today. And I was testing recipes earlier in the week. And she asked me about it, but I'd totally forgotten about it. So today, we are going to be testing Tara Gonzales's tortillas. So I'm going to call them Tara's Tortillas. So Tara, thank you for writing in. This is one of the best things about having a YouTube channel, is getting to communicate with people like you. All of you out there. You've all got great ideas, and you're all good cooks. A lot of you probably, if you're watching this. So let me know what you like, and we're going to try this. So this is our wild card. We're starting here first, and then we're going to do the soft shell and then the hard shell. So her recipe is very easy. It's only 3 ingredients. It's a head of cauliflower, 2.5 to 3 cups of mild cheddar cheese, and an egg white. And the way she starts this is she puts her cauliflower in the food processor, and this is what I have done here. So she rices it Now this, I have gone past the point of what would be rice. This is more, if you've watched the shrimp and grits video, this is more about a grit, but it's not mashed. It's not mashed potatoes. So this is ground pretty fine. So I'm gonna start there now. I've done made a mess here. Let me wash my hands. All right, so we're gonna start with this. Now, she puts this in the microwave, so I put this in a glass bowl. I'm gonna cover it with a plate. I don't like to use plastic in the microwave. I'm not a huge fan of the microwave, but I do understand how this can make things much easier. If you don't wanna use a microwave, dry steam this. Put it in a steamer with a little bit of water in the bottom. So this goes in the microwave for 10 minutes. I'm gonna start halfway in. See you in a minute. All right, now we're back, and this has been in the microwave for 10 minutes, and it is hot as a firecracker, so just be careful. I do put a plate on top. Now, it might seem, our point here is we're gonna try to drive some of this moisture out, right? We're gonna use our cheesecloth set over a bowl, and I'm gonna put this in and wring it out good, just like we do with a lot of cauliflower dishes. I always put a plate on top while I'm steaming it in the microwave, because if you don't, it just kind of burns, honestly. You are getting some steam out, but the steam also helps cook the upper layers of the bowl. So, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, it might seem counterintuitive to put a cover on something in the microwave that you're trying to dry out, but in this instance, the steam helps cook the cauliflower. Now, this is hot. Now, we're going to just put this in. It was a relatively small, I would say this was a small to medium sized head of cauliflower. I just cleaned it up, took the major stems out, and whizzed it in the food processor. So now let's let this cool. Let's let that cool for just a second, and we're gonna wring the devil out of it. All right, we'll be right back. Save this bowl. It's going back in the microwave for just a few minutes. All right, so I've given this, a minute or so to cool down. Let's see if we can get any kind of good squeeze action on it. You can do this in a tea towel. I prefer cheesecloth. Good Lord, it is hot. I prefer cheesecloth just because I feel like it's cleaner. My dishcloths, I mean, they're good enough for washing your hands and cleaning the table, but I just don't want to put food in them. I don't know why. Just pet peeve. So, good Lord, that's hot. So do your best to squeeze a lot of that moisture out. I just got to let it sit. I can't touch it. Can't touch it. We're going to come back in 5 minutes. Ooh, good night. Wow, look how much comes out. Yeah, this is much easier to hold now. It's cooled about 5 minutes. Much easier to hold. Look how much. Now be careful. You can break through this cheesecloth. Just keep twisting it. Keep squeezing it. And seeing what you can get out of it. The more moisture you get out now, the crispier the shell's going to be, the better the texture's going to be. Even if you're making rice or mashed potatoes, you've got to get this water out. All right, now I've already broken through my cheesecloth squeezing so hard. So we're going to dump this out back into the bowl we started in. Nice. Now you see how much liquid is in there? See that? That's what we got rid of. That's what we don't need. Get rid of this. All right, we're going to cook this in the oven on some parchment. We're going to add some cheese to it and cook it in the microwave for just a second. Now, we squeezed that, so that made a hard brick out of our cauliflower. So break that up. And to this, she says to add 2.5 to 3 cups of shredded cheddar, mild cheddar. So, I will give you a tip here. Do not use the reduced fat. You need to just use regular full fat mild cheddar. Now, as you know, one of these bags is 2 cups. I need 2.5 to 3 cups. I'm going to start with 2.5 and see where we go from there. Again, this was a fairly small head of cauliflower. So that's 2 cups. Let's add all this in. So her whole point here was, if you remember my story, her whole point was that she found the cauliflower, and I've tried the cauliflower tortilla shells. I am not a fan. And I love the cheese ones, but she's right, they can be cheesy if you don't want that much fat. And this seemed like a very good alternative to mix the two. Now that was 2 cups, she said 2.5, so I'm going to use a 1/2 cup measure of a second bag and just pull out, well, that was a little bit shy of a 1/2 cup. All right, so she says to combine this, the cheese and the cauliflower, put it back in the microwave just long enough to melt the cheese. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Okay, so we've put this in the microwave. That was 1 minute and 45 seconds. And we've got melted cheddar cheese and the head of cauliflower. And now she says we add 1 egg white to that. I'm just going to crack it in here and separate it. The good Lord willing. Come on. Get loose. Oh, that's what we didn't want to happen. Darn, that makes me mad. So anyway, all right, we've got our egg white and we're going to just combine all this. It has a weird texture. This almost feels like fathead dough. If you've done fathead dough, it's the melted cheese. You know, this kind of feels like that. So we're going to combine this as best we can with the egg white and the cheese and the cauliflower. What a weird consistency. Now, here's our parchment paper. I have put, I don't know if you can see, I've just used a pot lid to draw out some circles. So just to give myself some rough idea of what we're working with here. So she adds this to the parchment paper. You would obviously make several batches of this. And then spread this out into a taco shell shape. And you want it fairly thin. I mean, this isn't, you want it pretty thin. I'm gonna have to take some of that up. I think that's too much on there. I don't want to get too rambunctious. That made a mess. Tastes good. All right. Make this into a taco shell shape. And then we're going to bake these for 9 to 12 minutes in a 400-degree oven. And again, I want to thank Tara for letting me, if you've been on this channel any time, you know that if we're recipe reviewing, I don't usually list the ingredients of the recipes. Like, I don't give exact measurements of the recipes that we're testing because I didn't create that recipe. Somebody else did a lot of work to do that. And so I usually try to drive traffic to their site. If you did a great job making a damn taco recipe, then you need to get the darn traffic from it. And but she doesn't have a website or anything like that. She's just a viewer. So I want to thank Tara Gonzales. Thank you so much, sweetie, for sharing this with us and letting me try it on air. And we're going to see what we come out with here. Now, I don't know. Is that too much, honey, do you think? It tastes good already. Like, I'm just gonna just eat that and be done with it. All right, so 9 to 12 minutes. They're going in. I don't know if you can see the thickness of what we've got there. I can't really show. It's real thin. So in these go, I'll meet you here in 5 minutes. Or sorry, no, 9 to 12 minutes. Okay, so we're taking these out. That was a total of 15 minutes, and we flipped them about the 10-minute mark. So I just wanted to show you what we've got here. Now, I'm going to lay this over. This is the cheese and cauliflower. They're hot. Now, be careful. Ooh, see, that's what I didn't want to do. Darn, Wesley. This is helter-skelter. Hold on. I feel like a trapeze artist. But this is what you do with the other cheese shells too, so I'm used to it. So let's do the other one. It wants to pull it. Sit over there and be right now. Come on. All right, hold on, let me get a rag. Now these are a combination, like we said, of cheese and, God, they're pretty. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? Wesley. Y'all. Do not ever do this. I'm embarrassed for myself. This is why you don't test things live on live TV. What if I was on the Good Morning America right now doing this? That would have been a mess. I guess that's why Good Morning America don't call me. All right. Lay these over this. Now come here. Y'all sit down there. These two just need to shh. Hush. All right. Just lay these over there, let them sit together and make a taco shell. You're just trying to get a curly shape. When they dry, the cheese is going to solidify itself and it's going to be a taco shape. So let's do that. Now, let's get on to recipe number 2. All right, so we're going to start our next recipe. The cheese and cauliflower shells are over there cooling. I have precariously placed them on their little things so they can stay there. And the next recipe is from our good friends at Keto Connect. And you know, there's a reason that I use a lot of their recipes. A, they're extremely popular. All of the recipes are the highest listed in Google and YouTube and Pinterest, and they're good. The recipes are good. So out of all the flour tortillas that I would call a flour or corn tortilla soft taco, this is the best recipe I've found, and we're going to do that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to start heating up a nonstick skillet. And of course that doesn't work. Can I just tell you that for this video, I went out and specifically bought, this is an induction burner. I went out and specifically bought a Cuisinart pan that says induction ready. It is specifically for an induction burner. And my induction burner will not work with it. Shoot. First of all, I'm taking that back. You get my money back, Cuisinart. Hold on. We're gonna work through this together. Okay, so this is a little unorthodox, but this is supposed to be done in a non-stick skillet, an 8-inch skillet, however big you want your taco shells to be, the Keto Connect recipe. Because I want to show you this on my camera setup here, I use an induction burner, a little induction burner. So what I'm going to do, an induction burner requires a magnetic surface, and most non-stick pans are aluminum. So we're going to try a non-stick skillet. If this doesn't work, first of all, I've made this recipe multiple times. It's one of my favorites. So if it's not going to work, I'll just find a camera and put over here on my regular stove to show you. This will not be a failure of the recipe. It's a failure of my setup here. So what we're going to do is coconut flour. We need a 1/3 cup of coconut flour. And if you've been on this channel again, you know we always sift this because there ain't nothing worse than biting into something with a see that? If you had not sifted those big gigantic balls of flour would be all up in your business. So let's just get rid of those. Come on, mash on through. So, 1/3 cup of that. We're going to add the spices. First of all, some salt. That's just Himalayan sea salt. And this is baking powder, garlic powder, onion powder, and chili powder. If you want to find out how much to put in, go visit their website. So those go in. Okay, so just make sure that's combined. And to this, we're going to add the egg and the water. And they call for egg whites, 8 of them to be exact. I am not separating 8 egg whites when I'm making tacos and try to figure out something to do with 8 egg yolks. That's a waste of money. So upon their recommendation, I am using just solid egg whites, pure egg whites. And this is, if you look at the ingredients, there's nothing in there. It's just 100% liquid egg whites. So I need 8 egg whites worth, which is a cup and a half of egg whites. Okay. And to that, we're going to add the water. If you want to know how much, go find their recipe. So this has to be combined well. I've got a fairly good whisk here, and you just beat the devil out of this. And then we just lay it down in a pan as thin as you can. Okay, we're going to try to do this. I have 2 handicaps here. One, every time I've done this on my regular stove in a non-stick skillet. 2, I'm using a darn cast iron skillet instead of a nonstick skillet. So let's say a little prayer together. All right, this is some coconut oil spray. You don't need much, or at least you didn't in a nonstick skillet. You might with this. You're going to use a 1/4 cup measure. Once you start doing this, you're going to learn. You're going to screw up the first couple of these, and I'm going to show you how to screw them up because I'm probably going to screw these up. But what you do is as soon as you get this in there, spread it around. Oh, that's way too hot. Holy smackaroni. That is way too hot. Megan and Matt are crying right now because I'm reviewing the recipe all wrong. So, but what you want to do is get this as thin as possible. And let's just see what happens. If this doesn't work, I mean, like I said, I'm handicapped here with this darn cast iron skillet. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna move the whole camera setup and we're gonna go to the stove and I'll show you how to do it there. But I'm hoping we can just do it from here.
A few moments later.
Okay, I'm still making these, and as you can see, this is going much better. A nonstick skillet is required. Forget that. And again, if any of you guys use an induction cooktop, please let me know what you use for a nonstick skillet. I love this pan. Cuisinart, you did good in the pan, but look at those, how pretty. So, you know, you're making, these hold up well. They feel like a tortilla. They're pretty soft and beautiful. And it only takes literally 2 or 3 minutes for each one. And that's ready. So it doesn't take long. You just got to keep it up and keep going. Spread it out. I'm having trouble aiming the camera and working the batter and working the. Oh, it's a lot. So it doesn't take much though. So you're just going to make 16 of these, and a serving is 4 of these. So honestly, if you make 8-inch ones and you make 16 of them, 4 of those is a serving, and that is pretty respectable. All right, so these are the crispy taco shells. What we in America know as a crispy taco shell, right? That would be a fried tortilla. And this is going to be with sharp cheddar. Our last one was with mild cheddar, but most of the recipes that I've seen say to use sharp cheddar, that it just sort of hardens up a little bit better and gets a little crispier than some of the other cheeses. So again, down here on a parchment paper, I've put out a couple of 8-inch circles to give me some semblance of what a taco shell should be sized-wise, and put about 1/4 cup of shredded cheddar. That's all there is to it. This is the easiest recipe of the bunch, and I'll be honest, one of my favorites. And I've got a couple of options here to show you. So literally just in a circle, put a thin layer of cheese. Don't let it stray too far. Into a 400 oven they go for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. You're just looking for something that you can pick up and transfer to our drying rack over here, just like we did the cauliflower and cheese ones, except these are going to be much crispier. So I'll meet you back here in just a few minutes, but I'm going to show you a secondary option. Okay, let me show you this secondary option. Now, most of the recommendations that I've seen online tell you to use sharp cheddar because it's the easiest to get crispy real quick. And that's if you're doing them in the oven. I have found another option that I have come to enjoy a lot as well, and that involves sliced deli provolone cheese. Yes, Italian cheese. So this is super thin sliced. I don't know if you can see how thin that is. I mean, it is tiny, tiny. So this, I asked for them to put on a 1/2 inch, like a 0.5, I don't know if it's a 1/2 inch, it's 0.5. I think it's probably centimeters, I don't know. When you go to the deli, just ask for a 0.5 slice, the thinnest slice they've got. And this is sliced deli provolone. And you simply layer 2 just like that. Now these are going to be a little, let's turn them this way. These are going to be just a little smaller than our other tacos, but they turn out just as crispy and good. You just can eat a couple of 3 more of them for the same calorie count. These are going in the microwave for 55 seconds to 60 seconds, and these are going to be crispy taco shells when they come out. Watch this. Okay, now watch this. You're going to die. This just came out of the microwave. Look how skinny. Look how crispy. Curl them over and quickly get it off of the thing and put it over just like we did before. And it makes a crispy taco shell. Oh my God, that's beautiful. It is that easy. It takes 55 seconds, 60 seconds, depending on your microwave. It's not much. It does not take long. I'm gonna do another one. Okay, so we've got these out of the oven. These are our 2 cheese tortillas. And this is the precarious part. It does take a little bit of work sometimes to get them off of here. Depends on the type of cheese you use. Get them off that pan. And you just want to work around them, and eventually they're going to come up, and these are going to be super crispy, guys, super crispy. Now, also realize there is a lot of fat in these, so we're going to go over macros in a minute, and I want you to just be aware of them. So pick one of these up and lay it over that. You may have to hold it. Use a wooden spoon or a dowel or something to make that get crispy. Let them lay there. And now we're going to get ready, line all these up, all 3 of our tacos, and test them. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are. Finally time to taste our 3 options for taco shells. And I'm going to put the macros up here. But just so you know what we're talking about, here are our 3 options, right? So this one back here is the cheddar cheese shell, and it is crispy. It is hard shell. So the macros to this simply match the macros to whatever cheese brand you are using. So the downside of this is it's a little bit oily. I do use a paper towel to wipe down the cheese, to lay over the cheese just after it's come out to absorb some of the oil. But the fat content is going to be high on this. The carb content is going to be almost minimal. Our second option for a crunchy shell is the provolone. Again, that is simply the macros that are in the cheese. Again, that is hard. I'm trying to put it up to my microphone. That is hard and crunchy. And our other option is our third option is our Tara's tortillas. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I haven't tasted them yet, but the texture of this, as you see it, it's a little bit bendy. But you know a Taco Bell gordita or a Taco Bell chalupa? That's sort of what that feels like. And our last option, obviously, is our beautiful soft tortillas that we made from Keto Connect. So let's pull those out. These are gorgeous. They hold up well. I mean, like, I don't know if you can see, I'm rough handling that. These are going to hold up very well. So we'll make one of those, and let's just try them each. So I've got some onions, some avocado, some sliced tomatoes, lime, and cilantro. And let's just taste these. I want to start with the crunchy. No. Let's start with Keto Connects first, because it's going to be my soft taco. Let's get a good size one. And these are perfect size for street taco size. And we're just going to come in here, get some of our filling. Not much. And I'm going to make this authentic style. You don't add any cheese. You add a little onion, a little cilantro. Some people leave it at that. Squeeze a lime on top. Oh my gosh, y'all. I'm going to put a little piece of couple pieces of avocado on there too, just because I love it. Oh, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just do it all the way. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Pick up. So let's taste this guy. And this is going to be hard to do. You know how hard tacos are to eat, and I'm about to do this on camera, so pray for me. But I mean, okay, first of all, look how well it holds up. Like I've sort of, oops, I'm dropping stuff. I've manhandled it. It's a lot like a flour tortilla. That is so good. Let me just tell you, that does not taste eggy. When you first touch it, and you've made some crepes and some pancakes and some other low-carb baked goods, when you first touch it, you're going to say, oh, that's super eggy. Because we're only using egg whites and not egg yolks, it loses a lot of the egg flavor. And then when you combine the seasonings that we used, garlic powder, onion powder, chili powder, it really takes on the flavor of what we were eating. Let's try another one. Crispy taco. We've got two options. We've got the provolone cheese, which is kind of thin and lacy. You can sort of see through it. The other one is a little firmer, but there's a lot more cheese in there too. So let's just load it up. This one's real big. I made this one too big. You might want you might want to simmer down. Let's add a little onion to him. Not much. Onions are carbs. Tomatoes are carbs. Be careful. All right. You ready to watch me try to eat this? Let's see. Y'all, it looks so pretty. Oh, that's a pretty taco, but I can't really show it to you without. So you got to do the head tilt. It's holding up well. Listen to this. Oh! It's falling apart a little bit, just like a taco would. Doggone, that is good. I'm not even going to taste the provolone on camera because I've done it before too. It's the same thing. This is easier to cook in the microwave, but I actually prefer the cheddar shell. I'll be honest. Has a little better flavor, and it holds up better. And our last one is Tara's Tortillas. And this is what I said. It's still, this has got cauliflower in it. It's still a little floppy, but I'm not holding that against it because, you know, like I said, one of the Taco Bell gorditas is my favorite thing. I don't think that's even a real thing. I think it's like a Starbucks Frappuccino. That is not a real thing in Italy, and a gordita is not a real thing in Mexico. But it's good, and so let's try it. And again, this is much less of a problem in the macros because of the cauliflower. And let's taste this. Okay. It's holding up really well. Holding up really well. It's a definite cross between the crunchy hard shell and the traditional quote unquote corn tortilla that would be soft. Y'all, all four of these are amazing. There's not a bad recipe here. The low carb tortillas, this is by Keto Connect, the soft ones here that were really beautiful. Make 16 of those, and 4 of them are a serving. So these are street taco size. You get 4 of these. And in those 4, per 4 tortillas is 75 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, protein's 8.5 grams. Total carbs are 6, fiber, you got 3.25 grams. And so that's a total net carbs of 2.75 grams of net carbs for 4 of these soft taco shells. That is hard to beat, especially as good as they taste. And the other option is Tara Gonzales is Tara's Tortillas that I'm calling them. This guy here, our cheesy gordita crunch or whatever Taco Bell calls it, is what I'm kind of likening it to. For all of these, I divided the recipe into eighths. I assumed that we could get 8 tortillas out of this. If you do get 8, one of them is 158 calories, 4.2 grams of total carbs. There's a 1.4 grams of fiber, so you're about 3.5, I gotta do the math on that, of net carbs. Protein is 10.6 grams, and fat is 11.5 grams if you'd make 8 of them. So there you have it, folks. Tacos. Don't let the world's greatest food pass you by just because you're eating low carb or keto. There are a lot of options. Thank you for joining us. Again, I always say it every time, but these videos are a way for me to maintain my low carb way of eating. And looking in the end of this camera almost every week allows me to stay honest. So I really appreciate that you've come along for the journey. Now, if you're not a subscriber, I ask that you subscribe. Hit the subscribe button down below. We pit low carb recipes against one another and find the best low carb recipes this crazy internet has to offer, and I bring them to you. If you are a subscriber, hit the bell button down below. That'll allow you to know as soon as I release a new video. Like this video, share it among your friends. If you don't know what Patreon is, check that out, my Patreon account. Think of it as a tip jar for the internet. It allows you to give $1 or $2 a month to somebody like me if you enjoy what we're doing here on this channel. Otherwise, make some tacos, better work it out, enjoy your new air fryer, and I'll see you guys here next week for another recipe battle. See you soon.